Blessings, beloveds. It was apparently time for a live. Not my will, God's will. I hope you all are doing well. I've noticed an increased level of uncomfortable energies coming into most of our fields. I shared earlier this day that I've never had so many reaching out in panic for sessions. And those reaching out are those that already have done a lot of work. And how come, right? We are undergoing next level ego deaths. The old self wants to be dissolved again and again and again. The first ego death we are experiencing is usually really traumatic. We don't understand it. For each time we understand more and more of the process, but it doesn't make it easier. It's like our higher selves and our guides thinks that now he knows the process. So let's go, let's tear apart and tear down as much of the old constructs and paradigms and programs and identities as fast as possible. So many of us are longing for next stage of our mission, our purpose. We're so much knowing that we are in a massive movement. We know that we're in a massive transition and we just want to be there. We want it to happen with ease and grace. But still, we're experiencing the ego death, the dissolution of ourselves over and over and over again, right? But it's not a dissolution of you. It's a dissolution of your old self so you can anchor in your true divine self. And it doesn't matter how much we understand the process. It is as painful each time. And I was guided to share, because we've been going really deep into this in the self-mastery now. I was guided to share the stages of the ego death, because understanding that makes also so many people that don't understand their condition right now, understanding what they actually are undergoing. So when we're having this start of the ego death, we start to feel a resistance towards spiritual change. That's it. Ego death is resistance towards spiritual growth and transformation. Although our higher self, our soul is craving that more than ever, our ego personality that we so carefully build up to survive is resisting it, and it's resisting and it's taking its fight, right? So the first stage is denial. It's like, I refuse to make the change that you're just bringing into my field, right? And it can be, this stage of refusing, of denial, can be for months, for some it can be 2 weeks, for some a couple of days. And that's the shift that happens. The more we are on this journey, the more we understand the phantom deaths of the ego death, we can make that part of the denial shorter, right? So the denial is like, okay, I refuse the change that you are putting in front of me, God or higher selves or my guides. Once that stage is over, we go into anger or similar emotions where it's like, why me? Why me? Why do I need to go through this? Why me? And then the third stage, which is really interesting, and there we can stay quite long, it's the bargain, where we try to like, okay, I understand what you want me to do, but what if I just change a little bit of what you want? And then I can stay a little bit in this comfort zone that I know so well. So you just bargain back and forth between the ego and the higher self until you come to this stage where it feels so heavy. You really get it. You're gonna need to make the change. You're gonna need to move. This is really happening and there's no bargain. You can't take yourself half in and half out. That's when the depression comes. And this stage can also be just a few hours, a few days, but for many it goes on for months or years. So this is a stage where we feel hopelessness. And it's part of the process, okay? But once we have let go of all these 4 stages and they can go, interweave into each other, that's when the acceptance comes. And we cannot really decide when we are ready to accept the death of our old self, which means the death of many relationships, business, partner, job, location, a lot of things, many times all of the things at once. Once we come into acceptance, that's when so many more things can start to happen and we feel this immense light of energy coming in and we start to allow the upgrade of our consciousness to happen. And when we start to upgrade our consciousness, that's when the ego death moves in to the true self rebirth or the true self resurrection. I don't know for how many years I've been talking about the ego death, but understanding this is also that it's connected to our inner child and our past lives. So the fear that we're feeling, the resistance, the block to move forward is usually very connected to our inner child, places that a part of our soul still is trapped into that experience that the child had, or a part of our soul, a fractured part of our soul is still trapped in that timeline from a past lifetime. So we're experiencing this fear beyond what we're actually experiencing in this lifetime. So we are making it so much bigger, or our nervous system is making it so much bigger. So the physical sensations are so much out of old memories. The emotions we're experiencing is not from the current experience and state. It is from all these past lifetimes and childhood, right? And the same thing in the mental and in the spiritual. So how we navigate this is really pretty simple, but to come to this is hard when we're in the middle of a trauma response or an emotional loop or just a trauma reliving of the memories, right? Emotionally, physically, on all levels. So the way out of this is, of course, to observe what is happening. Don't take it personal, beloved. Don't take it personal. Your little child is taking it personal. Your ego is taking it personal. Your higher self is able to take a step back. Maybe not all the time, but at moments. And the more we practice this, the more we can do it. So your higher self takes a step back. Observe the story. Discern as a second step. Like using the brain and say like, but you can do this and this change, and you can do this and this change, and this is possible, this is possible, this is possible. The fear you're feeling, the resistance, the anxiety is not related to the current situation. So this is like understanding that this situation that you're now undergoing clears and heals your inner child, retrieves any lost soul aspects, and goes into the timelines also where you have re-experienced this before to heal it. So some of you might experience challenge after challenge after challenge, but it's a karmic clearing from many other lifetimes. And now it's that moment where you need to go into observer point and say to yourself, I have resources. I remember God now. I remember that so much of this is an illusion, the fear. And I know I can sit with it, feel it, transmute it, allow it all. I will not escape from it. I will not numb myself. I will not disassociate from this and try to be busy at work or all of these other things. I will take self-responsibility and I will clear this now. So from observer to discerning, you're moving again into acceptance. And when acceptance moves in, it's so different, because then you take the step back and you understand that this is actually happening for you. When acceptance moves in, you might not know exactly the details of how you're going to move from step A to B, but you understand more of why this is happening and why it cannot continue and why you're experiencing a rebirth of your old identities. When we can witness, it is that deep shift of actually moving to next level of our spiritual growth, which means not my will, God's will, understanding that there's a much higher divine orchestration happening beyond what I can understand. And here it's beneficial to go back and see those moments when you felt that your life collapsed completely, crashed on all levels, you were totally devastated. Just go back and see how it actually went into something even much better than what you could have understood or ever imagined. So from the witnessing, we accept. We don't take it personal. We clear it if we take it personal over and over again. And we just understand that this is like a story, like a play that needs to be orchestrated by the higher for everyone to be free from the old constructs and the old attachments and the old identities, as we're all moving up to the new earth. So much need to shift. With this comes that a lot needs to be expressed. In my private sessions, there's so much to clear in the throat right now. And the connection between the throat and the heart. You need to express your truth. Until then, you will build up anxiety, fear, anger, until you come into that point where you feel there's only one way, and that's for me to express my truth. When you express your truth, you don't need to explain. You don't need to defend yourself. You can just explain your truth as it is, as you feel right now. Don't go into details. Don't try to explain. Don't try to complicate it to soothe the listener. Stay in your godly virtues. Be honest. Be pure. Be patient, but also humble, right? So this is going on right now, guys, and we're clearing the house of ego. We're starting to observe ourselves when we are not operating from the virtues of Christ. We are here for the return of Christ consciousness. You can see it as you being tested, but God is never testing anyone. Your ego is testing you. The shadow part of you is testing you. Will she stay here a little bit longer? Or is she ready to evolve? So we are here to bring in the virtues of Christ. And to be able to do that, we also need to be honest and authentic when we are not operating from those virtues. To see that, to acknowledge that, to own that, to come back into alignment, to observe, because you've probably been taking it personally. And then when you not anymore are attaching yourself to the story from a personal perspective, you can return back to the frequency of the Christ consciousness. And through these processes, we are assisting, we are clearing the grids, we are retrieving the true grid system that operates in the all-being light body, right? The consciousness that is connected to the angelic human 12 DNA, which is our true divine blueprint and its consciousness. Just know that everything you're undergoing matters. Every tear, Every emotion matters. It's a clearing, it's a retrieval, it's a resurrection. Okay, beloveds, I hope what I went through can assist you if you feel that this is going on right now. Let's tune in and see what wants to come through. Okay, the guides are reminding me that I will put the link into the self-mastery, because if you feel yourself lost, you need deeper teachings. You wanna evolve yourself, understanding the quantum physics, but also the emotional, mental levels of what we're undergoing in the awakening. You're so very welcome to come in there and just try 1 month and see if it assists you. It's a powerful field for us during these intense times. So let's take some deep breaths together. Beautiful. I see some incredible light codes coming in, some light packages, some golden plasma. But we just make sure here that this space is fully protected by God's infinite love, light, and power, closing all negative portals, all inorganic artificial timelines. Ask for full protection, and only for what is in the highest good for each and every one, as God would have it be, to come through. Okay, so the team says, if it resonates to you, that you just do some tapping on your higher heart, on your thymus, because there's a lot of emotions right now in the physical heart. So you can visualize, because what they're doing, they're assisting with now, is to move the stacked energy in your lower heart chakra, in your human heart. It says they're assisting this energy to be transported up to the higher heart. Feels and see a lot of energies moving from the human heart up to the higher heart, your thymus. Okay, your higher heart is being activated. Love is not what we thought it was. Love is not what you thought it was. Love is not what you thought you needed to do. Love is what you're supposed to be. From this higher heart, I see that they are working with this diamond heart activation. Diamond sun body activation. Expanding the frequencies now, the teams, out to your physical energy body, out to your second, emotional, mental, spiritual, out to the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th energy body. Allow this diamond heart frequency to emanate out from your higher heart, which means connecting to God's infinite love, God's infinite truth, and God's infinite power. It's a frequency, it's a sound, tone, energy. Allow these frequencies, they're coming like white lotus or flowering plasma, if you can see, and then you just expand these frequencies. They're coming in actually both from the crown and from the core of your higher heart, expanding out your entire body. Allow the energies to expand. Feel how they are awakening your DNA. Beautiful. Okay, I see this white plasma flowering, activating codes inside of your light body field. And now they are connecting these codes and your light body and these plasma flowers into the white lion grid. So you are receiving now galactic frequencies to raise and heighten the intelligence of your heart into higher levels of consciousness, understanding what the higher love is all about, starting with yourself. Beautiful. The white lion network is streaming powerful galactic and even cosmic frequencies right now. Feel and see your heart And this white lotus flower opening up, yes, beautiful. It shoots up, very powerful, golden codes actually, all the way into your brain. And now another white lotus is opening up in your third eye. This activation assists you to start using your brain on completely new levels. So let go of the old mind pattern, the old mind looping, the worry, the fear of making wrong decision, the fear of losing or missing out. Allow the white lotus frequencies to emanate white flowering plasma out to all parts of your brain, clearing your neurological pathways and connecting your neurological pathways into the white lion network. Receiving high vibrational frequencies, intelligence, pack coach of light. Nitana kurunuto sana ikianarana niatana na kusuya shiatarana tasia tatana kurunuto siya. Beautiful. So we have this beautiful Tara coming forward. Nakuno sana kiana karana tasia. This is white Tara. She's in front of you. She's connecting her third eye to your third eye, her heart to your heart, and she has a transmission in form of codes or words or a message for you if you want to receive. Just listen, see, sense what is coming through from her. Okay, beautiful. She's thanking you for receiving her message. Returning back. The white lion network is disconnecting from your field. The two white lotuses are spinning clockwise in the third eye and heart to just activate to the maximum frequency available for you right now. Take a couple of deep breaths as we ask for this work to be closed in ease, light, love, and empowerment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, so be it, so be it. It is done. So, beloveds, you can keep working with this technique with the white lotuses that just came through because of our united group field. It doesn't matter if you listen to this as a replay, you're connecting to us right here, right now. So you were a part of it. There was some kind of technology coming in here. You can keep working with the white lotus in your heart, the white lotus in your third eye. If you feel you want to put some comments of what's coming through, or if you want to share something about your old self dissolving into deep ego deaths now, please share. Know that we are one. What you're experiencing, we're all experiencing in different ways. There's no separation. There's no inferior, no superior souls here on earth at all. We are all one, and we're here to be united, because when we are united, we are unstoppable, impenetrable, and invincible. Sending you all so much love, sending you so many blessings.